Randy Orton just did something on SmackDown that nobody saw coming, and his chilling warning to Cody Rhodes wasn't the concerned advice of a veteran looking out for a younger star. It was a calculated threat wrapped in friendly words that exposes the most dangerous side of the Viper we've seen in years. What's absolutely maddening is that half the wrestling world thinks Randy was being a good guy, trying to protect Cody from upcoming threats, while completely missing the psychological warfare happening right in front of their faces. I'm about to break down every single layer of what Randy actually said, why it's terrifying for Cody's championship reign, and why this moment might be the beginning of the most personal, most vicious Randy Orton heel turn since he punted Vince McMahon's head into oblivion back in 2009. Let me paint the full picture of what happened because context is everything with Randy Orton. The Viper doesn't do anything without purpose, doesn't say anything without layers of meaning, and doesn't interact with champions unless he's got plans that stretch months into the future. Cody Rhodes was in the ring cutting a promo about his recent title defenses, talking about how he's overcome every challenge, how he's proven himself as champion, standard babyface champion material that connects with the crowd. Then Randy's music hit. The place exploded because Randy Orton is still one of the most over wrestlers in WWE despite being in the business for over 2 decades. He walked to the ring slowly, deliberately, with that expression on his face that could mean anything from "I'm here to shake your hand" to "I'm about to RKO you through the mat." That unpredictability is Randy's greatest weapon, and he was wielding it masterfully. Randy grabbed a microphone, stood across from Cody, and the tension was immediate. These two have history, they've been allies, they've had incredible matches, there's mutual respect built over years. But there's also been jealousy, competition, and the unspoken question of who's really the top guy on SmackDown. All of that was hanging in the air as Randy started speaking. "Cody," Randy said, his voice that trademark calm that's somehow more threatening than yelling. "I've been watching you as champion. I've seen how you defend that title week after week, how you take on all challengers, how you give everything you have every single time you step in this ring. And I need to warn you about something before it's too late." Immediate question for the comments. When Randy Orton says he needs to warn someone, is he ever actually trying to help them, or is it always a threat disguised as concern? Drop your answer because Randy's history speaks volumes here. The crowd was silent, hanging on every word. Cody looked suspicious but also curious, like he knew Randy might be playing games, but couldn't completely dismiss the possibility of genuine advice from a veteran. That's the trap Randy set perfectly, keeping Cody and the audience off balance about his true intentions. On the surface,
Randy continued,
that sounds like legitimate
the problem
veteran
with being
advice.
the kind of champion
Randy's
you are,
been in the
Cody,
business long enough
that
to
you're
see
burning
champions
yourself
burn
out.
You're giving
To see
too much,
careers cut
defending
short
too
by
often,
overwork
making
and
yourself
ambition.
vulnerable. He's warning
And there are
Cody
people
about
in that
real
locker
danger
room,
that
people you
every
trust,
fighting
people you
champion
consider
faces.
friends who are
But
W.
listen to the words more carefully. Randy's not saying, "Be careful and pace yourself." He's saying, "You're already weak, people are circling, and you're going to get destroyed." That's not advice, that's a threat assessment delivered directly to the target. Randy was telling Cody exactly how vulnerable he is, exactly what the predators in the locker room are thinking, and exactly when they're planning to strike. The only way Randy could know all of that with such certainty is if he's one of those predators, if he's the one watching Cody get weaker, if he's the one waiting for the perfect moment. The genius of Randy's delivery is that he can claim innocence if confronted. "I was just trying to help you, Cody. I was being a good veteran and giving you advice." But everyone who knows Randy Orton's history knows that when the Viper starts talking about striking at the perfect moment, he's describing his own plans, not warning about someone else's. Cody's response was interesting. He thanked Randy, acknowledged the advice, but also made it clear he's not backing down from challenges or changing his approach as champion. He essentially said, "I appreciate the warning, but I'm going to keep being the fighting champion the WWE Universe deserves." Refusing to change his
Noble
approach
sentiment,
the right move
but
for
it's
a champion.
exactly what Randy
This is
wanted
crucial
to hear
because his answer might
Cody's
determine
not
how
going to
long his
protect
reign
himself.
lasts, which means he's where going to
Randy's
remain
warning
vulnerable. Gets even more sinister. After Cody responded, Randy stepped closer, got right in Cody's face, and said something that the microphones barely picked up but was clearly visible on his lips. "I hope you're ready for what's coming, because the strike I'm talking about could come from anywhere, even from someone standing right in front of you. That's it. That's the threat." Randy wasn't warning Cody about other people, he was warning Cody about himself. He was telling the champion, to his face, that Randy Orton is the threat, that the Viper is coiled and ready to strike, and that Cody's too exhausted and trusting to see it coming. And he delivered it in a way that he can deny being a threat while everyone watching knows exactly what he meant. The crowd didn't know how to react because half of them still think Randy's a good guy, a fan favorite who's just concerned about a fellow wrestler. But the other half, the ones who remember Randy's history, remember his evolution, remember every single time he's pretended to be someone's friend before destroying them, they booed. They saw through it immediately. Let's talk about Randy Orton's history because it's essential to understanding why this warning is so dangerous. Randy's built an entire Hall of Fame career on being unpredictable, on turning on allies at the worst possible moment, on striking when people least expect it. He's RKO'd everyone from tag team partners to mentors to legends he claimed to respect. The phrase "never turn your back on a Viper" exists. He never said Randy's decades "I want a match" or "I deserve a shot." Randy's been playing the good guy for a while now because Randy's teaming playing with people, having respectful matches, he's planting seeds, being a locker room leader, creating paranoia. That's made some fans forget Cody who Randy Orton really is at H. When Randy finally does challenge for the title, Cody will already be mentally compromised, already exhausted from watching his back, already vulnerable in exactly the ways Randy predicted. Question for you. When Randy Orton finally challenges Cody Rhodes for the championship, should it be at a regular SmackDown, a premium live event, or saved for something massive like WrestleMania? The timing matters for how this story unfolds. The people you trust line is particularly cruel because Randy knows Cody's history. Cody's been betrayed before by friends, by family, by organizations. Those wounds run deep, and Randy just poked them intentionally. He's making Cody paranoid about everyone in the locker room, making him wonder if his allies are really plotting against him, making him question every friendly interaction. That's how Randy destroys opponents before the match even starts. He gets in their heads, makes them doubt themselves and everyone around them, isolates them psychologically. Then when the bell rings, he's facing someone who's already half-beaten by their own paranoia and exhaustion. Calculated communication. The most chilling part of Randy's warning was his body exactly what's going to happen. He maintained that calm, watching it play almost out. Friendly expression. That's scarier than any heated confrontation. No aggressive because it shows Randy's completely no obvious threat displays. After Randy left the ring, Cody stood there processing what just happened, and you could see the wheels turning in his head. Randy successfully planted doubt, created worry, and changed how Cody views his championship reign. Instead of just defending against whoever steps up, Cody now has to wonder who's waiting in the shadows, who's playing the long game, and whether the people he trusts are actually trustworthy. Let me break down Randy's potential endgame here because the Viper always has a plan within a plan. Phase 1 is complete. Establish contact with the champion, deliver the warning disguised as advice, plant seeds of paranoia. Phase 2 will probably involve Randy appearing to help Cody against other threats, proving himself to be a reliable ally while getting closer to the champion and learning his weaknesses. Phase 3 is where Randy traditionally strikes. At the moment of maximum vulnerability, when Cody's defenses are down because he thinks Randy's on his side, the RKO comes out of nowhere and Randy reveals Randy Orton's storytelling all along. And we're watching it unfold Randy taking the championship and the question isn't if Randy's going to betray Cody. He warned Cody this would happen and how Cody's own fault for not Drop your prediction in the comments. How many weeks or months before Randy Orton turns on Cody Rhodes and reveals his true intentions? I'm thinking we've got at least 2 months of build before the strike happens. The comparison between Randy and Cody as champions is fascinating because they represent completely different philosophies. Cody's the fighting champion who accepts all challenges, works through pain, and believes the title should be defended regularly to prove its worth. Randy, during his various championship reigns, was the calculating champion who picked his spots, conserved energy, and only defended when absolutely necessary or when conditions favored him. Randy's warning to Cody is essentially saying, your way of being champion is going to destroy you, and my way is superior. He's not wrong from a longevity perspective. Champions who defend constantly do burn out faster. But Cody's approach has made him incredibly over with fans, has elevated the championship's importance, and has created must-see television every week. Both approaches have merit, the Viper versus but they're the American nightmare. When they finally collide for the championship, it'll be about traditional more than wrestling methodology. It'll be about the modern fighting champion of championship wrestling. The calculated striker. Here's something else passionate defender. Randy Orton's age and career stage. He's in his 40s, he's had multiple back surgeries, he's closer to retirement than to his prime. This might be his last realistic chance at being WWE champion, and he knows it. That desperation, that awareness of limited time, makes Randy more dangerous than ever because he's got nothing to lose and everything to gain. A desperate Randy Orton is the most dangerous Randy Orton. He'll take risks he wouldn't normally take. He'll cross lines he might have avoided in the past. And he'll do whatever necessary to capture what might be his final championship. Cody's standing between Randy and that goal, which puts a massive target on Cody's back. The warning Randy issued wasn't just about the present moment. It was about the inevitable future where Randy comes for that championship. He was giving Cody a preview of the psychological warfare that's coming, the mind games that'll accompany the physical battle, and the realization that Randy's already 3 steps ahead in planning how to take that title. Let's address what WWE's doing here. Can Cody Rhodes mentally prepare for Randy Orton's actually brilliant long-term booking, or is the psychological advantage already too great for Randy? Into Cody this is vital Randy because wrestling's as much mental as physical, establishing Randy as this lurking threat, creating anticipation for when he finally makes his move. That patience in storytelling is rare in modern WWE, and it suggests they see real value in this program. The slow build also allows for other feuds to happen in the meantime. Cody can defend against other challengers while Randy lurks in the background, each defense making Cody weaker and making Randy's eventual strike more justified. It creates this sense of inevitable doom hanging over Cody's reign, with Randy as the Grim Reaper waiting patiently. When Randy finally does challenge, the match needs to be massive. This can't be a random SmackDown main event, it needs to be premium live event level, possibly even WrestleMania depending on timing. The story they're telling deserves that level of presentation, and both men are capable of delivering an instant classic if given the platform and time. The other element that makes this warning so effective is Randy's credibility as a threat. He's a multiple-time world champion, he's beaten literally everyone, he's one of the greatest of all time. When Randy Orton says he's coming for your championship, you have to take it seriously because he's proven repeatedly that he can back up any threat he makes. Cody knows this, which is why Randy's warning landed with such impact. Final question. Who do you want to see win when Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton finally face off for the championship, and why? Both answers have compelling arguments. The ambiguity of his intentions is my ultimate take on this situation. Cody's now Randy Orton's warning to Cody Rhodes was the opening move ignore Randy's warning because there's truth of 2026. He is getting worn down. If WWE but he also can't change his approach. It was perfectly executed or appearing to be controlled by Randy's words. And instantly, he has to continue being the fighting champion while somehow preparing for the inevitable moment when Randy stops warning and starts striking. The chess match has begun, and Randy's made the first move. Cody's response will determine whether he can survive the Viper's calculated assault or whether he becomes just another victim in Randy Orton's legendary career. Either way, we're all going to be watching closely because when Randy Orton issues a warning, it's never just a warning, it's a promise of violence to come. Share this video if you think Randy's turning heel and targeting Cody's title. Smash that like button if you're excited for this potential rivalry, and drop your complete predictions in the comments about how this all plays out. Randy